So our little 6-row planter here, we're demonstrating how you would put nitrogen and starter on. You know, we talk a lot about this planter pass. You and I know that every pass that planter is going to make, if we can add nitrogen or starter to it, makes quite a difference to us. So we're going to be demonstrating our little nitrogen applicators here called BANDIT. And BANDIT simply comes in and we put nitrogen 3 inches on each side of the seed. And so it's a 3 by 3/4. We're only going about 3/4 of an inch deep because we're using nature. I talk about how much pressure does it take if we're going to put these discs in deeper than the seed. So we know that moisture, so if it starts to rain here, we're going to start to migrate that nitrogen down. Your crown is going to start to put out the crown plants, and it's going to grow right through that nitrogen hot zone. And so we're excited about being able to use moisture to migrate that nitrogen down. So we're going to be 3 inches on each side of the seed. And so BANDIT runs, it's got a hose tube guide here that you can see here. That's actually running right into the, the slot that the disc on each side are making. So the reason we like banding so much, we know that if we can band nitrogen, it's going to be 2x over what you say a broadcast would be. And the reason that we think it's 2x the value is because of these guys. And these guys are out there in your field, and there's a lot of these guys. And they're good guys. The microbials are the guys that we like. We talk about them all the time. They give you what? Free nitrogen. But early in the season, if you're broadcasting in 28% across there, they're going to be feeding on it. And all of a sudden, we got a young corn plant here, and it's starting, if we got all these guys down here eating the nitrogen, all of a sudden we're going to start to yellow that plant out. So by coming in and banding the concentration, we can lower the amount of what your broadcast would be and still get a lot of bang for the buck. Also on this planter, we got a new system called Dash. And Dash is where you come in. Andy, go ahead and fire it up. You'll see it here, and it'll be pulsating. And so as you see it pulsate, what we're doing is we're coming in every time a seed comes out of the seed tube. We have the technology where we can lay a dash of starter right where the seed is. So the minute your radicle starts to grow out, we're going to go right into this concentration band of starter. So it's all about saying, if we use starter, can we use less dollars per acre but get more yield, more bang for the buck? So we'd have, instead of coming in, let's say this seed is 6 inches apart, we could come in and put half or 3-inch dash on, or we could come in and put a 2-inch dash in there. And so it's the concentration beside it where your root grows into it that starts to get really positive. So we know that all the way from headland to headland is $28 an acre on a starter program. The minute you and I cut it in half, now we're down to $14 an acre. If we can cut it by 2/3, we're down to $9 an acre. And so it's all about saying, can we raise more corn with less dollars by having the concentration here the minute that radicle first roots out, grow right into that. You notice that we have a gator sitting here on the track. We call it Sprint. You can see it running up here on the computer. Let's talk about it a little bit. So we come in and we say, in our operation, we're going to have the planter put on that first pass of nitrogen, and we're looking for 85 pounds of N. So I'm going to be using 25 gallons to the acre of 28%. I'm going to use 6 gallons to the acre of thiosol. So in other words, we like to put sulfur on every time we put in. And so now we're looking at 31 gallons. And so you think about the volume that you carry in a tank, and you can see why we're bringing a Sprint operation in. So Noel, why don't we follow this planter? Let's thread her down. We'll watch BANDIT first. So you're going to see BANDIT here running. It's going to run about 3/4 of an inch in the ground. We'll just run him slow. And we'll bring up the Sprint. The Sprint will come up. It's going to go right in the funnel you see on the TV screen. He's got a 2-inch pump. That gator's carrying 300 gallons of fertilizer. And so he's going to engage. He's going to click it on. If you look up on the left tank up there, you're going to see nitrogen, in this case water, coming into that tank. And so he has an air system as he shuts off here. And he's got the capability of blowing it. You can shut your motor off there, Don. So he's got the ability to come in. It takes about 3 minutes for us to move 300 gallon into the planter on the move. It comes down to being 30% more efficient. What we found in our 60-foot planters is we get an extra 100 acres a day. So it's all about saying, how do you and I stay more efficient as we talk about bringing nitrogen? I'm a huge fan of BANDIT nitrogen, but I feel like we don't want to stop our planters more by carrying it, so we're bringing the Sprint to move it. We notice we're pumping up there in the front of the tractor in 2 tanks on each side that we designed. They're extremely narrow, and they're moved to the back of the axle. And so we're able to carry 700 gallon on the tractor. We've moved a lot of the weight off the front axle, so it's got good visibility on each side. We do a lot of road work of our planter tractors. It's all about safety. We like being able to carry 700 gallon, but not putting ourselves at risk. So we'll talk more about it on the stage here in a minute or two, but that's kind of what we're showing. You can see the chains that we have with the BANDIT kits, and you can see how they're moving the soil and leveling it off behind the closing wheels. So there's several different styles of closing on this planter, and we're just demonstrating all those different things.